So your mom moved here as an immigrant,
Mhm.
and she totally changed to take care of anything. And she's like a business owner, and it didn't
Yeah.
bother her language, culture, whatever. She just went out and took care of things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. It seems like maybe would there be a connection like right now? You're working really hard.
Invisible force
Uh-huh.
pushing me. After her passing, I realized and see clearly that her support, her love, and her acceptance of my transitioning not impact me only, it's impact me to be able to go on to impact other people.
I guess we talk.
Mm.
And even though you might not think you're going into a trance, or I'm making you go into a trance,
Okay.
you're starting to bring out thought and information that's very profound.
This is the Transparency Podcast Show.
Welcome back to Transparency Podcast Show. I'm your host, Shelbe Chang. In today's episode, we have a return guest. She's coming all the way from Arizona, and she's one of my good friends. And we did a Zoom episode last time. Today, she's in the studio podcast place in Long Beach, and we're gonna have a very, very different kind of show. But let me introduce her, Tawni Acosta.
Yeah, perfect.
How are
Thank
you
And
doing?
it's nice to be here. And it's nice to be back in California. So
Yeah. So last time we kind of give the audience a little bit background about you, your transitioning stories. So you want to kind of let people know a little bit about yourself, what type of business you're doing?
sure. So I have my own, like many of us, I'm a solo entrepreneur
Mm-hmm.
or a solo business owner. And what I do is it's a form of hypnosis.
Okay.
And this form of hypnosis is actually called conversational hypnosis.
Okay.
So most of the time when we think of hypnosis, we think of somebody like doing
Sleeping.
putting you to sleep,
Yeah.
or maybe doing a performance
Mhm.
act, or even doing things like people do like regression, like past life regression.
Right.
But this is totally the opposite. And it's kind of
Mhm.
based on the idea that when we converse, we actually can produce moments where sometimes you're talking consciously, sometimes you
Mhm.
don't realize it, you may be talking unconsciously.
Yeah, so when I was doing a clip, when I was editing your clip, I rewatched your episode and I found out that because we kind of describe what you do and what kind of session will look like, and I just had an idea that okay, maybe we should do one as an example. And since myself, I've been having a little, I won't say issue, a little because my mom passed, so I have a little emotional impact these 3 4 months, and so I actually talked to her a little bit, and I do see a pattern that I had before when I was in my
Mm.
depression. So I was so this that's where this episode's idea came from. So we were gonna do a little sections, right? Mini sections
Yeah,
or example
kind of a
sections. Yeah,
demonstration.
demonstration.
And the funny thing is that when I do a session,
Right.
I don't have any preconceptions of where it may go.
Right. Okay.
And sometimes my sessions can take a long time because it's really delving deep into our
Mhm.
inner world
Yes.
and how we experience it.
Okay.
And so, first of all, to start off, I just like, the passing of a loved one is a major event, especially a
Mhm.
parent.
Yeah.
That's a major
Okay.
event for anybody's life.
Mhm.
And undoubtedly we go through a grieving process,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is unavoidable.
Yeah, I do have the moment that I feel sad or miss my mom, but somehow I just feel consciously I'm fine, emotionally
Mhm.
fine and still do my stuff daily. But then I have this sleeping disorder, or the pattern is very, very off. Like I go to sleep like past midnight and I can wake up like 4 o'clock. And
Mm.
then I can function all day without napping or resting, and then that just does. It's just not me before.
I see.
So I don't know. So you're here to tell me.
Sure. Well, no, we're just gonna
Yeah,
go on a
conversation.
little. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, we'll
Yeah.
just go on a voyage together.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
first, are you kind of comfortable how you're sitting? Are you relaxed?
I
Well,
think so.
as relaxed as one can be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just, this will be a conversation,
Sure.
and should anything come up that you're not comfortable expressing, that's
It's okay.
okay.
This is
Okay.
yeah.
And also, I just want you to know, like, I'm really here and I'm with you, like, 100% with you.
Okay. Sure.
But, what we can do is kind of have a little fun with it. So
Okay.
you describe it like you're experiencing right now because of everything that's gone on. It's like a
Uh-huh.
sleeping disorder, or
I don't know if that's the right term to call it,
sure.
but that's something different that I notice, in my daily life.
Mm,
I can still eat. I can still do my work, but when I do my work, it's like, especially this past week, it's like, uh, from the time I wake up to the time I go like ready to sleep. So it's nonstop. So I'm not sure. I'm trying to, replace doing something to cover up the sad part or the depression part.
oh, I see.
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
the sleeping pattern is definitely off, and like 12 something and 4 o'clock wake up. That's like 4 hours sleep. That's not normal.
Right.
And then I can, like I say, I can go all day the next day.
Yeah.
So
So it's kind of interesting. So you're saying, you're sleeping not normally, 4 hours sleep, maybe less,
right.
and you're noticing like you're working all the time.
Yeah, and I also want to just give it. No, I didn't take any drugs or anything.
Sure.
Yeah, the only thing I kind of do is the vape, but that's it. That's not really gonna cost me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you vape normally?
Just picked up this past month or so.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of interesting though. You mentioned that you're working a lot, like lots of hours.
Well,
And
I've been working a lot, but I take breaks or relax a little bit.
sure.
Now I just fall on.
So you're full on working,
Yeah,
no breaks.
no break. Well, breaks
Mm,
mean bathroom breaks.
mhm.
But yeah.
So I'm just kind of
Okay.
curious, when you're working so hard,
hmm
what are you experiencing? What are you feeling?
Uh, well, I kind of give myself a new schedule
Hmm.
starting this year, so it's very tight. And in the term of feeling, I don't think of feeling. All I know is one. Let's say the video releasing strategy, it kind of work. We have more subscribers, so I said, oh, I just tell myself, okay, this is working.
Mm,
That's probably the only feeling this past 2 weeks because I just started a week ago,
okay.
2 weeks ago actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for a
Mm-hmm.
couple weeks, you've been working a lot, putting in a lot of hours,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe you think there's like a connection between your sleep pattern
Mm,
and you're working a lot.
I don't know. Well, I don't think I cannot sleep is because I'm worried. I don't
Mm,
feel any of that. Or I don't feel like, oh, I'm not going to finish my work, so I have to wake up early. But I do have sometimes I miss,
hmm
because let's say if I go out with friends, I might miss some couple tasks, and then I might wake up, okay, do it early
mm,
to cover,
mm.
to make it up like that.
But you're mentioning you're worrying.
Hmm?
You're worrying.
No,
You're not?
I think I'm not.
Oh, you think you're not. Okay.
I don't feel like I am worried.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're sleeping different and you're
Yes.
working a lot.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
Um, what did your mom mean to you?
It means it means a lot to me.
It means a lot.
She's
Yeah.
um I kind of stay close to, even though I live by myself, but throughout 46 years, she's always around. She
Hmm.
never goes somewhere that like far, far, and the most is like she went back to my country for a month
Hmm.
years ago, but that's it. So, and we kind of came more close after my transition in a
Oh.
way, and because before when I was pre-transition, I don't really share what's going on outside the house, like who's my friend, what did I do with my friends, or how I feel. I never share that pre-transition, and then once I transition, I kind of become more comfortable sharing. Like,
Mm.
okay, I'm hanging out with Tawni, and we take pictures, selfie. We're gonna go eat this place. We take picture. I share with her, uh, messaging taxes.
Mm.
Yeah, so she never met any of our friends, but she does know each one of them.
So as you
Yeah,
transitioned, you became a lot
yeah, we're a
closer.
lot closer, and like we talk every day. So right now,
Mm.
there's few days that I did not fully spoke it full sentences.
Sure.
I text, like, text is like talking to yourself, kind of, right? You have a voice inside. But
Mhm.
I never. But there's a few days that, because usually I talk to my mom on the phone, and now and then I just there's one or no, probably 2 or 3 days I don't speak a word to a real person. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I.
So
Mhm.
she's a powerful force or a strong connection for your life.
Yes, like personal, and I think this my work attitude or
Mhm.
ethic is all coming from her in a
Oh,
way, because growing up we saw her working very hard, long
okay.
long hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, restaurant business. So she have to prepare the stuff and be at the restaurant right before the opening, and then after closing she have to cleaning and do the accounting, and
Right.
then go home. It's like 10, 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then repeats
So
for
you're
many years.
it's interesting is that you're mentioning, your mom's work ethic. That's
Hmm.
something that you got from her, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I
that's a,
think
that's a
so.
very powerful thing. And then
Uh-huh.
but it's very interesting if you think about it right now,
Yeah, I just
you're
kind of
you're working
realized.
very hard.
Yeah.
Do you think like, it's kind of interesting, don't you think?
Yes. Now when I'm just talking to you, I just oops. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
that.
so that's
So
interesting. You just had
um,
a thought come somewhere.
yeah, because I, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's natural.
is that natural? Is that
That's natural. Of
normal?
course it
Because
is.
because when she's around, I do work hard, but not as this extreme. To be
Mm,
honest with you,
yeah,
I have
so
break time. I go to meet friends and
mhm.
hang out.
So you're
Even
doing
COVID time, not
yeah.
like that.
But
So.
well, it's interesting. So you use the
Mm,
word extreme.
mm, okay.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's okay. It's interesting. So, I just want to point out a couple things, if I may, to the
Yeah, go
audience,
ahead.
is that
Mm,
so when we're speaking, when I said the word extreme, you
mhm.
kind of laughed. Your whole tone of voice changed. So
Okay.
you're like just like you did right there.
Mhm,
So that's your emotions are expressing yourself through your body. Your subconscious is expressing these things.
mhm.
And so these are the things where it just piques my curiosity, like, wow, there's something really there. There's something. So
Yeah.
we can kind of amplify that in a way. By amplify, I mean, let's explore that a little more
Okay.
because,
Sure.
first of all, I think it's really beautiful, don't you, that you got such a good work ethic from your
Mhm,
mom?
mhm. Yeah, well, how do I say this? Okay, she's been very, very, courage or brave.
Mm-hmm.
I kinda caught that too in a way after transition.
Mm,
Pre-transition, I'm not. Okay,
yeah.
as a guy, I'm not very out there and very shy. Because when we were young, in my country, she doesn't have to work. She's a stay-home mom. And when we immigrant here, she never drive before in my country, and she got a license here. She drove from Orange County to San Gabriel Valley for work,
Mm-hmm.
just like that. So, and then she doesn't speak English, and she do like a cosmetic shop and store.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course, there are a lot of Asian there, but she's not afraid that she doesn't speak English. She's not afraid. She just got a license. Driving that far is dangerous. She's not worried about that. I think it's because she tried to provide, be a provider for
Sure.
for us. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why.
Yeah, she's a provider for you.
Hmm.
But it's kind of interesting. So your mom moved here as an immigrant,
Hmm.
and she totally changed to take care of anything, and she's
Hmm.
like a business owner. And it didn't
Yeah.
bother her language, culture, whatever. She just went out and took care of things.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. It seems like maybe would there be a connection like right now you're working really hard as a real estate agent, entrepreneur, podcaster. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so it's interesting. That kind of like that tickles a nerve. How's that like when you feel you kind of what are
Um.
you
Okay.
experiencing?
Well, all those times I described, I was still young, like um teenager, or well, we came here when I was 12. So that means like at those times we saw it in our eyes, but we don't understand. We don't
Sure.
we don't feel what I feel looking back right now, because now I can see, okay, she's kind of sacrificed for us.
Mm-hmm.
When I say sacrifice, is because we do know, because she diagnosed cancer is because she worked too hard.
Oh,
T-
okay.
so when I say extreme, that's why I use the word extreme. Actually, it's applied to her and maybe to some of my doing these past couple
Sure.
weeks.
Yeah.
And I, seeing her working like that, of course, we didn't know it's gonna end up,
Mm-hmm.
diagnosed cancer. But now I do know, like, a person, if it's under stress, worry, or work
Mm-hmm.
tirelessly like that, it can cause, disease.
Mm.
And
Okay.
of course, me and my sister say we don't want to end up like that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I don't know. So that means I don't know what I'm expressing right now after her passing. Is it because
Yeah.
subconsciously I miss
I
her,
don't know.
and
Yeah.
maybe that part was ink in me, so I'm doing that unconsciously. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know.
No, it's okay. And I just want to comment. It's kind of
Hmm.
like as we're talking more and more,
Yeah.
there's like a depth and a richness of experience you're expressing,
Right.
you know?
Yes.
And and a richness of your emotion, you know?
Hmm.
And so I'm just kind of noting that.
Yeah, I never really share this with anybody,
Yeah,
actually.
well, I again,
Yeah.
we have the blessing of editing. You can share or not
No, no,
share.
no. I'm fine with
But
that. Yeah.
also I thank you for being so open with me.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
kind of
It's
it's
called
interesting
transparency.
because
Yeah.
what comes out of us as people,
Mm-hmm.
we all have these conclusions in our life that we kind of run on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's natural, it's a human experience.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you're having a very powerful human experience.
Yeah, I do. Somehow, I do feel a invisible force
Uh-huh.
pushing me in a way.
How do you experience that invisible force?
Um, like, well, before, as our circle friend knows, or sometimes I mention on the podcast, that like my last emotional impact was my relationship breakup, and now this
Oh.
is replace of that. That's like last chapter. I kind of feel that way. That's last chapter, because, like, when we do things, we ask why are you doing it, or what's the motivation behind
Mhm.
it. I think that one, it's already juiced up.
Mhm.
I think that kick is already done. It's already probably there, and now it's another gear of kick. That's how I feel.
Okay.
Like, yeah, maybe that experience will probably take me from there to here now, and then now I'm feeling like there's an invisible force to lead me or push me to go further apart.
Mm. Do
Yes.
you when you think of this invisible force, if you just take a moment and think
Mm,
about that invisible force, is there anywhere like in your body or your mind you experience that?
Um, I think it's on my mind.
So in your
My
body.
my mind and plus a little
Yeah,
emotion because
sure.
I
So hold on.
okay, go
So
ahead.
so where in your body would you experience that invisible force?
Like like the way I work, I think because I never work like that. So I kind of like
Okay.
feeling I can go all day and sleep 4 hours
Mm-hmm.
and keep
S-
going and going. So
So
I that's what you know. I think that I have that kind of drive or attitude is because of emotion pushing
yeah.
and
Okay. What?
yeah.
So you have that drive, that attitude from the invisible force
Hmm.
and
And
emotion. So what do you think that emotion is?
um after her passing, I realized her passing kind of made me realize and see clearly that her support, her love, and her acceptance of my transitioning, it's impact me not impact me only, it's impact me to be able to go on, let's say, on podcasts to impact other people,
Mm-hmm.
or in our community. And let's say if let's say today, let's say she is not the way she was, then I won't be able to show this side of me to everyone. I would be probably more that's that how do you say depressed, sad, or no confidence. Well, you know, and my transition probably won't move forward as smooth
Mm-hmm.
as it has been. So.
So is part of that invisible force your mom's acceptance?
Mm, I think so. It kind of just since I realized this, I kind of make me feel like okay, now I have a mission
Oh,
that I want to
okay.
impact more people because the way she treated me,
Mm-hmm.
caring and united us in
Okay.
a way and make me feel like okay, I need to
Okay.
carry on her legacy.
Carry it. You
So
know, it that's an extremely powerful
yeah,
thing, don't you think?
yeah,
You know, s yeah, 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 it's making its appearance. No,
yeah,
it's making
legacy.
an appearance in your body.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah,
serious.
legacy. I don't know how everyone. I think everyone has a different meaning of legacy.
Mhm.
Some is like you have to be somebody or have something to carry on. But for my mom, that's why I say invisible.
Invisible.
Because like caring, loving, accepting is not a physical thing. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But it translates me into a physical body to show people in a physical form, right?
So, that
Even I'm
legacy
talking like this, I'm
yeah,
surprised.
it's
I
okay.
normally don't talk like
Isn't
this.
well, hold
Yeah.
on a sec.
Okay.
This is helping you open
Mhm.
up,
Yeah. Okay.
and you're expressing things maybe you don't normally say,
Hmm.
and it's just kind of flowing out of you.
Yeah.
And we use these very powerful words like the invisible force,
Hmm.
legacy,
Yeah.
acceptance.
Hmm.
All these things are very those are very strong emotional experience, don't you think?
Yes.
And especially as a transgender person,
Hmm.
those are powerful. And if you have that from a family member,
Hmm.
that's obviously left it like an imprint.
It is. Well, as you know, I like to help people since um in the beginning when I'm transitioning, I just feel oh, okay, I'm kind of lucky, I'm blessed, I have a family that accept me, and I just feel I can help. But it wasn't the same as right now, because back then it's more like okay, well, get together or I'll listen to you, or how or do a events and have everyone gather outside of the uh, party scene or club scene.
Sure.
But now it's more. I don't know how to describe it.
Hmm.
It's more like
Well, if
I
you
think
don't
I can do a lot bigger.
a
So
lot bigger.
yeah,
Okay. So
in a
now
way.
this capacity, this drive,
Hmm.
this invisible force to
Mhm.
help. How would you characterize that drive now? Or how would you experience that drive
Mm.
to help right now at this point in
You
your
mean
life?
I what I want to do, or
Yes. How your
um
capacity to help.
well, I think I'm gonna use media as a channel
Mhm,
to continue impact people with the message or the journey I gone through, or the knowledge I learned to share
mhm,
with people. That's one. And second one is I want to open a foundation, nonprofit foundation under her nickname,
okay.
and to continue to help people, because that's what she was kind of doing towards
Mhm.
this past few years. Yeah, so we've
S
been doing donation, and she's very into Buddhism, because
Mhm.
our family is Buddhist,
Yeah.
and we never really is so religious family, but she was like doing a lot of chanting. She called it I'm doing my homework. so
Okay,
so
okay.
yeah, so she does a lot of that. And then another part that's kind of impact me is when she after she passing, I kind of feel I'm more closer to this religion
Mhm.
in a way, because yeah, somehow I just kind of keep hearing um about Buddhas,
Okay.
and her new home is in a temple.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I understand. That's where she's resting.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting, like, as we talk,
Mm,
and even though you might not think you're going into a trance or I'm making you go into
mm,
a trance,
okay.
you're starting to bring out thought and
Mm,
information that's
mm,
very profound,
okay.
you know?
Okay. Now
And
I
maybe
can,
the
yeah.
is probably not what you talk about normally,
Mm.
but to think of what I'm hearing from you, please correct me if I
Okay.
don't have it right, or I just want to make sure I have it right, is your, like this need, this desire to amplify this legacy of your mom and your family. It's
Mm,
becoming very strong, very well defined, kind of clear.
mm-hmm.
So it's kind of what I say, this event with the very difficult passing of your mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of giving you a why. Like every entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
every business person, every person sometimes to have their deep inner
Why?
why.
Yes. Seven deep.
Yeah,
Seven level deep. Yeah.
right. Do you think that's a little bit of what you're expressing to me right now?
Uh, yes, and also because I brought up the last emotional impact was the relationship, and that's the reason I started doing real estate, because we can, I'll explain in a different episode, but that's the reason why I become a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm.
And into fourth year of doing real estate, I think that one, the mission is somehow I just feel complete. That's why I can sense now this is another emotional impact
Yeah.
wave, and this one is stronger than the
Yeah.
last one, a lot stronger.
So so the
So
first one, emotion was feeling complete.
as of now, yeah.
Feeling complete as of now.
Meaning like the reason I do real estate, it's already I already there. I'm already there.
Right.
Like
You
I'm helping, you know,
mhm,
people who people who think they cannot buy home, they are
mhm.
turned down,
Yeah.
like, or the agent they experience not doing their job. That's what we experienced in the past, and leads to, you know
Okay.
in results of breaking up. So
Yeah. So you
yeah.
you had that relationship and that
T-
breakup. It's kind
mhm,
of like each one of these are profound things
right.
and profound, at times for anybody, they're emotionally profound,
Hmm.
deep things, but it seems that last one propelled you to be a real estate agent
Hmm. Yes.
and to feel complete as Shelby.
Complete meaning. Mm,
So here, let me
okay,
rephrase.
sure.
When you say complete, it made you feel complete.
Yeah.
How do you experience complete?
Mm, just like I mentioned, I'm doing real estate is not because money or commission or the title. It's because I personally experienced a bad service from an agent and leads to we are arguing as stress, and that's kind of the breaking point of that relationship. And because of that, that made me want to be somebody who's opposite. You
Mm-hmm.
know, find do my best and not give up on my client. That's
Okay.
the right way to say.
Yeah.
And when I say complete, meaning I've been already. I'm gonna continue to have more client, of course. I'm not done with the professional, but I'm just saying that that drive is I already got there. I already
Sure.
passed my test. I got a license and blah blah blah.
Okay.
You know,
But
so
complete
mhm.
as an agent, complete as a woman,
Okay.
complete as a daughter.
You mean that last impact?
Yeah.
I'll say complete as a mission,
As a
wife.
mission. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
think.
you completed your mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
How okay, let's
go
hold
ahead.
that right there.
Okay.
So you completed your mission.
Hmm.
How does that feel?
It feels good.
Feels good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. And so we're thinking about earlier we talked about legacy.
Yeah.
You're talking about creating a legacy.
Hmm.
What would that mean to you to create that legacy?
Mm, well, right now I'm thinking, just thinking carry on my mom's legacy of supporting acceptance and love and unite.
Hmm.
So, but for my personal legacy, which I don't have any kids or anybody, so I'm thinking that foundation I was telling you about earlier,
Okay.
that will be the legacy of me and her
Okay.
later on.
So the
you know,
legacy is this foundation and these
yeah,
other things, but let's go back to this legacy
okay.
and how that's going to make you feel as Shelby.
As shall be. Well,
There.
I,
No, no, no. That's really good. When you had that, well,
uh-huh,
let's just stay with that.
okay.
What?
Well, as shall be meaning, okay, if shall be as a trans person, let's say out in the open, it will I don't know I don't know the future, but as of now, because we don't have a icon or a person that is doing something that make the society or the mainstream people to see, oh, a trans person can be this way.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be work at a grocery store. It doesn't have to be you know take on living on the street or something like that.
Sure.
So that's the part that it doesn't have to come from me, personally as my legacy, but if I can impact another person who can do better than me or show this part to the world, then that's still,
So,
yeah.
so to show to the world what a successful person can be.
Yeah, because we tend to have this label, I call it,
Yeah. What is that label?
meaning like we will consider us a minority, right?
Okay.
They consider us a minority and certain like ethnicity background is considered minority. But I'm thinking opposite. I said, why we have to be minority? Why can't we be majority? Right?
Okay.
And then in order to be a majority, you have to in their eyes, we have to be,
Oh, their eyes.
we're not a burden to the society. That's the
Mm,
word to say,
a
right?
burden. Do you
Yeah.
Okay, tough question. Do you feel
Okay.
like you're a burden to society?
I'm not right now.
You're not right now.
Yeah,
Because?
because I'm contribute to the
Okay.
society or the
Okay.
community. Yes.
Mm. What are in thinking of doing this legacy, do you think, when you think about your legacy that you're working on right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you're working so hard, but
Yeah.
then you're working so hard
Mm-hmm.
about your legacy, but then you're concerned about overworking like your mom.
Yeah, because when she found out that I'm a trans, this is what she said, word for word. I mean, my sister translate word for word. Um, she said, "It's okay as long as you're happy and healthy."
Mm-hmm.
So, healthy is in there. So, and happy, I've been through. Everyone been through happy and unhappy, or yeah. So I'm trying to keep myself healthy, so she doesn't have to worry.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
before and after, and now or after, in a
Sure.
spiritual way of worry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But you're working really hard. Use the word extreme.
Yeah.
You're working extremely hard,
Yes.
and your mom overworked.
Hmm.
That brought about the cancer, you feel?
Yeah, we feel that's the main cost.
And you also feel your mom wants you to be healthy and happy.
Yeah.
Healthy and
Yes.
happy.
Yes.
So there's a little
Conflict.
Yeah, a little conflict, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can we resolve that conflict?
I don't know.
Yeah. No, we can just think about
Do you think that
No.
that's the reason why it caused me to have a sleeping disorder because I'm conflict?
Mm, could be.
Yeah.
So I know we can just take a minute,
Mm-hmm.
think about that conflict, or think about, hold on, take a minute
Yeah.
and think about resolving that conflict. Because you're working extremely hard.
Mm-hmm.
You're working extremely hard,
Yeah.
and you want to fulfill being healthy and happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that will be contribute to daily habits.
Daily habits.
What I eat, I exercise.
Hmm.
I know sleeping right now is off, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
sleeping is off.
slowly.
What do you think the sleeping being off is telling you?
Um, something's wrong in my body
Okay.
or my
Okay.
mental. I don't know.
Well, hold on. Something's going on. Yeah, something's going on up there. You pointed up here. So something's going on up here. So this sleeping is telling you something. And so hold on.
Sure.
So just let's kind of stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So you just mentioned you have these unusual different sleeping patterns.
Yes.
And it's telling you something's going on there.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just take a thought. What do you think's going on up there? So let's just think deeply, slowly, easily. What's going on up there? What's going on with Shelbe up there? What is it trying to tell you?
My personal thinking is because I try. I mean, I like I mentioned earlier, I have emotional moments, and those are unpredictable.
Mhm.
Sometimes it just comes.
Unpredictable emotional
Like
moments.
all of a sudden I'll just thought of her or miss her, or and other time I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe I'm doing extreme work or something to get rid of that
Mm.
weak. I mean, not weak, but I don't want to victimize myself. Maybe that's why.
Okay, sure.
What do
No,
you?
no, this is really we're getting to kind of the heart of the
Yeah.
matter here. So you're working hard.
Mm-hmm.
You have these emotional moments.
Mm-hmm.
You so when you think of these emotional moments and working hard, let's just keep our focus right there. Yeah, it's kind of
I think okay now
yeah.
I think I maybe not just avoid victiming myself, but maybe avoid me being depressed
Okay.
because
Mm-hmm.
I kind of describe if I go depressed
Mm-hmm.
and I discover a certain pattern that I will kind of do something really stupid,
Sure.
and I don't want to go through. I don't
So
want to go there again. So I think maybe subconsciously I'm trying to hold on to that,
I
not
see.
fall down.
I see.
And
I
maybe by
see.
doing work, and I might
Mm-hmm.
get I don't know,
So okay,
dopamine. I
okay.
don't know.
So you know, again, we have to say is like to experience emotions
Mm-hmm.
about a passing of a loved one.
Right.
That's a normal human experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You say
and
that. Many people actually say that. Say this is
mm-hmm,
everyone have to gone through.
mm-hmm.
Maybe because when I describe it, maybe people think I'm trying to avoid it, which maybe I am. So,
Maybe you are.
yeah,
Maybe you are. And that would be a normal emotion too.
I did share with one of our mutual friends. She said maybe I subconsciously I'm depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Subconscious, I'm not aware,
Oh,
but on surface, I'm still
okay.
doing my thing, doing podcasts and
Mm-hmm.
work, and I don't, I you know,
So
I
maybe
cover up.
subconsciously you're depressed.
That's what she thinks.
Mm. What do you think?
When I hear that, I think, oh, maybe she's right.
Mm.
But it's hard to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To me, it's kind of hard to be aware of
Yeah, it is
certain
hard.
things. So,
It is
subconscious
hard.
thing,
Sure.
because unless I had an experience before, just like the pattern I mentioned, the
But
depression.
yeah, but we're here right now.
Yeah, I know.
We're here right now.
Uh-huh.
And it's kind of you're here right now and it's free. You have the freedom to experience anything,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And, we're all human beings, right?
Yes.
So, maybe it struck a nerve when you heard that from your friend.
Yeah. I just kind of have like a aha moment.
Aha moment. Yeah.
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 But I still cannot
So, no, that's
find out if
it's an aha moment.
Yeah.
And we're right here talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of making you think, right?
Yes.
It's making, maybe you can even open up a little bit. You don't know. Who knows how this could come out? Yeah.
Yeah.
You just give yourself that moment.
Okay.
Relax. You're relaxed though.
I think I'm relaxed. I don't know. Do I look agitated?
No.
Sometimes I am.
Yeah. But just relaxed.
Okay.
And you can take this moment and just think about, is that true or not? Just think about that. You can go to that place maybe. I don't know where that emotion might take you. Yeah. That's good. You see, you're talking a lot less.
I'm talking a lot less.
Which is a good thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because I need to let
Because
it out?
no, you just slow down.
Oh. Okay.
Slow down.
Got it.
And let your thoughts kind of happen.
Do
you ever try and think of something and you can't remember somebody's name?
A lot of time.
Sure. But then you just you try to think really hard and you can never remember it.
Yeah.
But then when you kind of relax and do something else, oh, that's who it is.
Okay.
So
I see.
So that's what we're kind of giving ourselves that moment. Just kind of let things
slow down.
Yeah. Just slow down.
Okay.
You can think deeply. about those thoughts.
Mhm.
Who
Okay.
knows? Could be fears, could be
Mhm.
emotions that are there,
Mhm.
could be anything.
Okay.
And like,
Yeah.
just give yourself that time to, yeah. I know, see, you kind of laugh. Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that a good thing?
yeah. It's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's
Oh,
just
okay.
you
It's just
express
me.
yourself. No, you
Okay.
just express yourself.
Okay.
Does it feel like when you laugh, maybe you're touching something?
The way I think the way you said it, like the example, if you forgot somebody's name,
Hmm.
and I kind of, thinking in my head, and it just applied to many different moments
Mm.
that when you calm down, you figure out, or when you calm down, you
Hmm.
find out, yeah,
Yeah,
or realize, aware, yeah.
yeah.
So yeah.
So you can realize, be aware
Mm-hmm.
right in this moment.
Okay.
And sometimes it's kind of good.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself permission to slow down
Okay.
because we're all running pretty quickly in this life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And you're probably running quickly.
I did.
And
I did running quickly few times already. As
yeah,
you know me for 10 years there, sometimes there are times I already run quickly
hmm,
and then fall.
right. So we
Yeah.
don't want to fall, do we?
No.
Yeah,
Because we're getting older. We cannot always every time can
right,
get back up. So,
right. So we don't want to fall
yeah.
and give ourselves that permission to just think about it.
Okay.
And when you think about it, like, it's kind of funny because any thought can come to our mind,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Any thought can come to our mind about, I don't know,
Yeah.
who knows where it could go? Could go anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yes.
But it's just like things are nice and opened up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
appreciate your
Mhm.
session.
Yeah. So I'm just curious as we're kind of slowing down,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
I,
I didn't realize I'm slowing down until you
yeah.
mentioned it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but if you feel something right now,
Mm-hmm.
you give yourself permission to slow down
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because, that's a human thing too.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You
Okay.
can.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
um, sometimes we feel so many emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And you mentioned some things about your past.
Mm. You mean the downfall
Well,
part?
could be that. I mean, you're
Yeah.
talking about depression.
Yes.
So,
Mm.
with this extreme work, is that kind of running from that depression,
I
or
think so.
you think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, how would you imagine, how would you experience when you think of the extreme work on one side
Mm.
and depression, the fear of depression, just the fear of depression, not
Mm-hmm.
depression?
Mm-hmm.
If you think of those two thoughts, you just keep those two thoughts in your head.
Okay. All right. I will.
Yeah. So, you have the extreme work,
Uh-huh.
depression,
Okay.
fear of depression.
Fear of depression.
Is
Yes.
that right?
Yes, I do have that.
Fear of depression.
Yes. Fear of
Yeah.
depression. Don't want to go
Yeah.
down that road again.
Yeah. You don't want to go
Yes.
down that road.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's when we think of roads
Mm-hmm.
and you're thinking of this fear of depression, what other roads might you be able to travel? I don't know.
Happy. healthy.
Happy and healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be healthy. Don't want to work so hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, as you start to think of things,
Mm-hmm.
you want to be happy and healthy.
Right.
There's this fear of depression going on.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of come to that place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have fear. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a human emotion too, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah.
So maybe if you just kind of, like you observe that fear,
Uh-huh.
maybe shake its hand.
Huh?
Shake its hand.
Shake its hand.
Yeah, I
Fear.
don't know. I don't know. But when we think of this fear, when you, Shelby,
Mm-hmm.
think of this fear,
Okay.
what do you experience in your body or your life or your thoughts when you think of this fear of depression? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think, mm, well, as this moment, I think the depression. I think fear of depression is, yes, is there, and I kind of feel maybe I'm suppressing,
You're
and I'm
suppressing
not
it.
talking to anyone about it.
Right.
And doing this session makes me feel I talk it out.
Okay. So we're going to talk it out.
Like a dumping, trash
Mhm.
dumping. So now
So
I feel.
so you want to trash dump?
I already did.
Are you
Kinda.
sure?
I think so.
Are you really sure? I mean, you can trash dump a lot.
Oh, yeah. But I think I feel more. I feel my chest is more. More relief, more air going in now, in a way.
Your chest is more air into your chest.
Yeah, like can breathe better.
You can breathe. Mm.
In a body form.
Okay.
Like I won't feel so heavy.
Okay. So
Yeah,
you
I
don't
do
feel
that
so
way.
you don't feel so heavy,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
and you can breathe more.
Yeah, I feel that way right now.
You feel that way, right? Okay,
Right
let's
now.
stay with that thought of
Mm-hmm.
being able to breathe more
Mm-hmm.
and not feeling so heavy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So not being able to breathe more
Uh-huh.
and not feeling so heavy.
Yeah.
Let's just
I feel more light.
you feel more light.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you feel?
Mm. Better.
Feel better.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like you said, when you say I slow down, I didn't realize until you said it, actually. So maybe I just need to talk it out.
Mm-hmm.
And
Talk it out.
depression probably because I'm trying to compress it,
Yeah.
suppress it.
You're trying to compress your depression.
Yeah, and then when I talk it out, and since it's already out, so I
Mm-hmm.
feel more light, more
You're
relief.
feeling lighter.
Relief in a
Mhm.
way.
So
Yeah.
talking it out.
Talking it out and share with friends.
Share with friends.
Just
Letting that trash. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah.
You feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
You can breathe more.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling lighter. You breathe more.
Yes.
So now I'm going to interrupt for a moment, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
So really,
Yeah.
what's happened is her subconscious mind is expressing a helping resource,
Okay.
which is being able to breathe better.
Mm. Okay.
See, you're even reacting to that.
Okay.
Being able to breathe better
Yeah.
and feeling lighter.
Yes.
You're experiencing this.
Yes.
Your mind is coming up with a solution.
Oh. Okay.
Do you realize that?
No.
Yeah, your mind's coming up with an idea.
Okay.
But that's just us we talked all this stuff, but now we're
Right.
kind of getting really into the heart of the matter. And then you're saying, let it out,
Mm-hmm.
talk to a friend,
Mm-hmm. Trash dump.
trash dump. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay. So maybe you need
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that time to express. that freedom
Yes.
so you can breathe,
Yeah.
feel lighter.
Yes. So I can sleep better tonight.
So you want,
Longer.
okay. So you want to
Right.
sleep better tonight.
Yeah.
You want to sleep better
Mm-hmm.
because you can breathe,
Mm-hmm.
feel lighter
Right.
by talking it out
Yes.
and talking about fear of depression or depression.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I really appreciate you
Mm-hmm.
doing this little
Okay.
episode
Okay.
session with
Okay.
me.
You're welcome. And
Yeah,
this is kind of a long
no,
time.
I'm not
Yeah.
acting. I really feel in that
Yeah.
moment,
Yes.
and because we're kind of running out of time.
Yeah, I know we
That's
are.
why. But
Allow me to
go
clarify.
ahead. Yes.
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
thank you for being so open. It's really brave. It's not easy. And
Mhm.
as you do these things, you're letting things out that you're resisting.
Right.
And you're kind of letting it out little by little in a way that's healthy to you.
Yes.
And so the thing that what's happening is our mind, our subconscious mind is one of its job is to keep us alive and to protect us.
Mhm. Yes.
Okay?
Right.
And so there might be some resistance to these emotions.
Mhm.
And so it's kind of like just gently opening up for you
Mhm.
in a way that you can process it.
Mhm.
And
Yes,
so, if we're
process.
doing a normal session, this would go longer, or I would do
Right.
some more things to help you kind of process it deeper.
Yes.
And as well, I would like do some more things to help you. These
Mhm.
resources that you're building, those are
Mhm.
tools your subconscious is coming up with.
Right.
And so I'd be emphasizing those tools
Yes.
so that by the time a session can go anywhere. So you could see we had to talk a long time
Mhm.
before
To get
actually
in. Yeah.
we're getting into this real
Right.
heart of the matter.
Yeah.
But getting in the heart of the matter is kind of beautiful because there's a change. There's a change in your body.
Mhm.
There's a change in the way you talk. There's a
Mhm.
change in the way that you're reacting. And so at this point, this is where we're really dialoguing with your subconscious.
Mhm. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So thank you for allowing me to demonstrate, but more
course,
thanks
thank
to
you.
you because
Thank
you
you,
have to be
thank
really
you.
brave to do this.
Oh, well, I really have to, like I say, find a channel to fix this. So,
Mhm.
so where can people find you,
Okay.
book your sessions?
Sure. I will supply a Calendly link where you can book a free strategy call. And basically in this strategy call together, we can figure out if it's a good fit or a good match. The beauty of this is, again, I come in as a therapist with no assumptions, no presumptions. We just get to this point where we actually kind of get to the root and the heart of the matter and bring about a way that you, the person, in this case, Shelby,
Mhm.
can actually resolve your own problem. It's not me telling you, it's you coming up with your own ideas.
Okay, that
So,
makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah, so thank you for coming all the way from Arizona.
Well,
And
I was
then-
here on business too, but thank
So
you.
I'm sure we will have you back again
Okay.
very soon. All right, so thank you everyone for watching and listening, and we will be back next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.